Hello and welcome to the Expert Classroom. I'm Miss Alice. Today we are going to meet an expert farmer to find out why keeping Australia's land healthy for farming is important and learn what we can do at home to keep our local environment healthy. World Environment Day reminds us how important it is to protect our natural environment. The 2020 theme is all around biodiversity, which is about protecting the variety of animals, insects and plants found on Earth, as well as the habitats they live in. In this lesson, we're going to explore the ways that Australian farmers are looking after their land to ensure Australian wildlife can still enjoy their natural habitats. Australia is a vast country with unpredictable weather and climates, which makes it important for Australian farmers to learn new ways in which they look after their soil, land and animals. This makes sure native animals have safe homes and native plants and trees have a healthy environment and enough space to grow. Over time, farmers have learnt how to protect the land and wildlife and now have proper guidelines to follow to make sure their farms are more sustainable. That will help us build a greener future. But how do we get their natural environment back if it's been disturbed? One way is by replanting native trees that create more shade to protect areas from extreme summer heat and provide shelter for animals. Has your family grown any plants this year? If not, you can try growing things in your garden like kangaroo grass, greybeard and bottlebrush, all of which are great for native insects and don't need much looking after. Australian red meat farmers care a lot about the environment. They rely on healthy ecosystems and thriving natural environments to produce the best quality red meat. Among other things, this involves making sure animals aren't overgrazing the land. Farmers prevent this by rotating and resting their pastures throughout the seasons. This allows the grass and other plants to grow back and cover the soil. Farmers also work to protect the homes of native Australian animals by fencing off certain areas of their farms. These are known as conservation zones. They provide a safe haven for native trees, plants and animals to thrive. Today, we're going to talk to beef and lamb farmer Charlie Arnott, who is a biodiversity expert. We're going to chat to Charlie about how he manages his farm while looking after his land to protect his pastures and help them stay green. Thanks, Charlie, for joining us. So what is biodiversity and why is it important?
Alice, biodiversity is, a collection of many things. So when we're talking about biodiversity and nature, we're talking about many living things. So on a farm, we have trees, we have grass, we have sheep, we have cattle, and people as well. We're included in the biodiversity of a farm, and also not just above the ground. We're also looking at the biodiversity below the ground in the soil, where there are microbes and there's fungus and there's bacteria and worms and all sorts of wonderful things there too. So it's above and below, and it's really important because the more biodiverse an environment is, or a farm, essentially the healthier it is. It's able to resist, drought and floods and wind and the heat in summer. And the more animals, the more plants, and the healthier the above and the below ground environments are, the healthier the whole farm is.
Fantastic. Can you tell us about some of the native plants and animals you have on your farm?
Alice, we have lots of native plants and animals. We have kangaroos, we have wallabies, we have echidnas. They're the main sort of animals above ground. We've got lots of we don't have any wombats, so we don't have any that go under the ground. We've got lots of native pasture, lots of pasture grasses. We have lots of trees. You can see some beside me here now, mainly eucalypts they are, and there's a few currajongs as well, which are native to Australia.
Wow, that looks amazing. So have you done any native vegetation planting to help improve the quality of your soil?
Alice, we're actually standing. Yeah, we're standing right in the middle of one right now. We actually had some school children help plant these ones about 4 years ago. We use trees for many things, and one is to improve soil quality, because those trees all have big roots underneath them, of course, and that helps with the cycling of water from the soil through those plants into the atmosphere and back down as rain into the soil. So that's one of the main functions of trees.
Fantastic. So how do you manage your animals and land when dealing with pests, droughts, floods and bushfires?
Well, Alice, that gets back to biodiversity. The more biodiverse a farm is, the less we need to actually control those pests and those weeds, because the less of them we actually have. Because nature has a wonderful way of supplying the resources we need, the things we need to control those weeds. If we have a diverse pasture, then we don't worry about the weeds. The sheep and cattle eat them anyway. And we don't really get pests, because the healthier the soil, the healthier the grass, the healthier the trees, the pests tend not to want to eat those plants and those trees.
Sounds like a great system.
It's easy. I call myself a lazy farmer because I don't have to interfere too much with the system, because nature often has all the answers we need.
Fabulous. Finally, a question we ask all our experts. Who is your expert hero and why?
Alice, Joel Salatin, a farmer in the United States, is my hero. He's my hero because he teaches young adults and children how to farm using utilising biodiversity, and how to grow beautiful food, and how to do it naturally. And he sells that food to his local community. So he's a really inspiring hero of mine. And he's got a wonderful farm over there in the United States.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. So how can you support life on land at home or school? We've put together a few tips for you to try. Tip 1, watch the wildlife. Go outside and check out what's growing in your area. What birds, insects and animals can you spot? Tip 2, get growing. Head down to your local garden centre and stock up on seeds. Find out what plants are good for the wildlife in your area. Tip 3, be water wise. Collect rainwater to use on your own garden during dry weather, and be mindful about your water use around the home. Tip 4, make some creature comforts. Native wildlife sometimes needs a little help, especially if you live in a town or city. Have a go at building a bird hotel or box, or make a rockery for your lizards. Tip 5, be an eco-warrior. There are lots of ways that you can be a change maker from your own home. Perhaps do some research with a teacher, friend or family member to find out how you can make a plan to protect Australia's beautiful land. You can also share pictures of your garden with us by email for a chance to be featured on our channel. Thank you so much for joining us today to discover how farmers are making Australian pastures greener. If you're looking for more fun videos, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss anything new. Check out our website for all you need to learn about supporting native plants and animals in your garden, and tune into the live stream Q&A with a farmer later in the term. We'll be back next week with another video, so make sure you tune in. See you next time, and don't forget, experts don't just happen. They learn, practice and share every day.